All right, good evening, everybody. Good evening. Are you guys hearing me?
Good evening, sir.
Yes. Can you remind me where we stopped in the last class? What was the last thing we did? Or was the last class the guest lecture?
Yes, sir. Last two classes was guest lecture. We looked over and review our work that we did.
All right. So is it
Topic
that anybody did
sentences.
some right? So anybody did some revision and wants to show?
Sorry, I can share mine.
Right. All right, go ahead. Let me see what you have.
One moment, sir. I'm bringing it up.
Okay. I didn't search for lecture 1.
Hello.
All right. So what are some of the ways in which site managers can prevent accidents on a work site? Go to the one that you want me to look at with the supporting evidence. Providing safety training for all employees. It's a final site manager. Yeah, but the same, I think Margaret had pointed it out that they're not talking about with specific training. Didn't she say this? So it's providing safety training for is a finally site managers, but what specific training would prevent accidents from occurring on the website? Because all you're just saying is kind of echoing everything. It just says training increases productivity, training, but you're not saying what specific. So at some point you need to say, for example, when truck drivers or tractor trailer drivers were trained in X and Y, there was a reduction. A study discovered that there was a reduction in the overall accidents or something like that. So you're kind of just echoing what is there. I think she had pointed it out to you before that you need to say, so if it's providing safety training for all employees, what specific types of training, the types of training that have led to less accidents or that have led to prevention of accidents versus when training has not occurred. So you could even do a kind of comparison contrast.
Okay, sir. Thanks.
All right, yeah, man. Anybody else want to share? Because I'm going to kind of go all the way forward. Jason?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead. Want to share? While I look for lecture 1, I'm trying to find my first lecture. Anybody? Oh, yes. All right, so let's go from the top first. Let's see what's happening. Your reference list is not correct, but let's go from the top. Remove the full stop from broad topic. Remove the full stop from broad topic. Jason, that's not a full stop, sir. That's a colon. I said remove the full stop. Are using ganja for medical treatments, anxiety reduction, and for boosting the economy are some of the advantages of recognizing ganja. All right, let's see. Now let me see a topic sentence with the supporting evidence. The reference should come after this, sir, not before, okay? The reference is the last thing. So you need to put it before. Using ganja for medical treatments is one advantage of decriminalizing. All All right, the diction is off, so this option I'm going to use. All right, so I'm going to start from the beginning because a lot of the words that you're using are not expository in nature, like fantastic, swear. Those words cannot be used. You're using contractions such as I think I saw a contraction. Where was it again? Don't. You're supposed to spell out all the words. The use of an treatment of arthritis is said to. But for C, where's that study coming? Your site, yes, you're using actual figures. So where are these figures coming from? They must be coming from a source. In C. All right, so you need to work on that. All right, thanks for sharing, Jason. You will get there eventually. At least you are heading in the right direction. With whom are you working?
Me, Casey, and Yashika.
All right, give me 1 sec. Yes, Jason, you were saying you are working with?
Yes, I said me, Casey, and Yashika.
All right, so there's a lot of work to be done because even if the reference list look a little bit off, but when we will get there eventually. All right, anybody else wants to share? Or go ahead. Her phone is not working good. I think the signal is Miss Johnson. It's starting to share, but I think the signal is actually bad where you are. Because it's saying share, started sharing screen and the document is yet to come up. So I think the signal is actually bad where you are. Is there anybody else in your group who can share on your behalf? Because it's not coming up.
Yes, I think I can share. I'm home in class. Mommy. Right. Mommy. So
all right, share for
I'm
us.
going to share.
Then mute.
Just like a shh, shh, shh. It won't allow me to share, being that Janelle has
Yeah, Janelle, I
started.
told Janelle to stop sharing. Janelle Johnson, are you there? Oh, you just, okay.
Sorry, come on now. The computer freeze on me. That's why. Because I'm at work still.
All right, so go to, what are the reasons for training and development? Go to the topic sentence with the supporting evidence. But I don't see any sources being cited, so I see only one. You should have at least 2 sources cited. You can't have, because if you don't have any source cited, it means that it becomes an editorial. You're talking from your head and you're not an expert. So you can't have only one source. And so increasing employee motivation is one reason for training and development. In other words, how training and development will actually increase the motivation of staff. Upskill initiative. In other words, where's A and B coming from? In the time of training, employees and employers to develop up. How do you know that in B? How do you know that they develop a positive relation? Are you an expert in the area? Do you have a PhD in the area? How do you know that? Did you carry out any research? This is why you have to cite sources, because you're not an expert in the area. So you're drawing conclusions. Even if you're an expert, you'd have to cite yourself. All right, so you need sources to back up what you're saying.
What I did, sir, was read and paraphrase. So
Yeah, but you
I
need to
still
cite
have to
it.
put the source nonetheless.
Yes, then how am I going to know which source you have paraphrased from?
Okay, well, I can do that.
Right, because the Turnitin is going to read it as plagiarism.
Okay, I can do that. It's just that I paraphrased. I didn't know I was to put the source nonetheless, but I can put the source.
Yeah, but remember, it's a group work, and I hear you keep saying I.
No, because I mean, for hey, I did that part, so I can put the source.
Okay, all right.
All right.
All right, anybody else wants to share?
Yes, sir. Sir, but you did not give your feedback.
I
As
gave my
to
feedback.
if
I told you that you need to put in your sources. That's the feedback.
Yeah, but apart from the source, is it
I can't
okay?
comment for no, I can't comment on the sources are there, because I need to see where you're citing the sources from, and then I'm going to look at the reference list.
All right.
Okay. Somebody else said yes? Because I want to get into the lecture. Why can't I find lecture 1? This is 2. This is not what I want. Where's my lecture 1? I did it with the other class. Or give me 1 sec. Week 3, week. This is week 1, so why can't I find? It's not what I want. Gotta be writing 1. Give me 1 sec. Let me find the first lecture for the class, because the other class I started the discussion with them. This is semester 2. Is lecture 1 under semester 2? No. No. All right, let me look at what you have. Talk to me. So topic sentence. So what are the causes of mental ill health? Go back to your research question, please. What are the causes of mental ill health among law enforcement in America? Being exposed to traumatic activities daily, long-term job-related stress, and the threat to an officer's safety or health are several causes of mental. I'm not sure if I get this. Hold on. Causes of mental ill health, right? One cause is being exposed to traumatic activities. The other cause is long-term job-related stress, and the other one is threat to an officer's safety. I'm not sure about the third one, and the threat to an officer's safety and health. You can't have safety and health. You have to choose one.
Okay.
But I'm not sure about this. Let me see the topic sentence with the supporting evidence that you want me to look at. Give me 1 sec. All right, sorry about that. It was two work-related calls from my colleagues. Go back up for me now. Let me just look. I just want to remind, oh yes, so go back to the one that you want me to look at. So officers being exposed to traumatic activities daily. I don't know if you have to say daily, because I don't think every single day is traumatic for them. Is one cause of mental ill health among law enforcement in America. Is it the United States of America? Is it Latin America? Is it Central America, South America, North America? So when you say America, it's very broad.
For United States.
You determine that. I don't know which other America you're looking at.
Say United States.
And you need to end the sentence does not, for 8 doesn't have a full stop. The PSTD causes unwanted flashbacks as well as insomnia. There should be a full stop at the end. As it's a sentence. Not there, we'll remove that full stop and put it at the end where the bracket is, outside of the bracket. And you need to put a comma between the name and the year that are in parentheses. The comma cannot be on that side. That's not how you put a comma. You need to space the thing. Right. It's being exposed. So, in other words, how does exposure to traumatic events? All right, the first one is flawed. I don't see, because you have to show me how the traumatic events, the exposure to traumatic events actually cause mental illness. I don't see that in the first one. Let me see B and C. Firefighters are among the first to arrive at the scene of a disaster. The exposure to families. I don't get C either, B either. TB is usually a capital uppercase. This can cause. All right, so all of these subclaims, the supporting ideas, they need change, all right? Because they're not showing me how the exposure to traumatic events has caused mental ill health, all right? I'm not seeing that in your supporting evidence. So the evidence is a bit weak. All right, thank you very much, Ms. Davia. I see that you're progressing, but your evidence are, what I'll do, I'll talk to Margaret and see which day she would want, to help you guys in terms of consultation, because she loves teaching, so trust me, she'll do it. All right, so I want now to begin the lecture, but I want to go back now to the whole notion of what is academic writing. Can anybody tell me, if someone were to ask you what is academic writing, how would you define it? What would be your definition of academic writing? I am listening. There's silence. Is this lecture 2 or lecture 1? Oh, this is lecture 2. How would you define academic writing? So we're not going to move on until I actually hear some definitions. All right. So either you want to put it in the chat or you want to speak aloud, but I need to hear some voices. How would you define academic writing?
All right, sir. Good night. Good evening. All right. So definition for academic writing is a style of writing that is objective, unbiased, and focuses on supporting information with reliable and credible data and evidence.
All right. So say it slowly for us, because that was a lot to digest.
Okay. Academic writing is a style of writing that is objective, unbiased, and focuses on supporting information with reliable and creditable data and evidence.
All right, so it's credible.
Credible, right? Credible data and evidence.
All right, yes. Anybody else? Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
Anybody else wants to define academic writing for us? I am listening. There are several.
Academic writing is structured, it's cleared, and it's supported by evidence.
All right, so it is structured, clear, and supported by evidence.
Yes, sir.
Yes, thanks for that. Anybody else? I'm seeing like somebody posted something in the chat. Janelle says, is a course that teach you how to cite article and assist with essay writing. CITE for cite. The SIT is a work site, all right? Yes, anybody else? I haven't heard anything from, let's see in the chat again. Roberta Thompson, talk to me. The women are talking. We have to have a balance in terms of the feedback. Roberta, Jason. Yes, gentlemen, talk to me as well. Let's hear what you think.
I'm listening, sir. I'm still at work, so I'm not gonna be able to do much talking until
Well, you're talking now, so use the time to define it for me. You just responded.
I'm going to do a little research and get back to you, Charlotte.
Let us say you're put on the spot and you are forced to define it. What would you say to the person or persons without having looking at anything based on what we have based on what we
all right, impromptu.
Yes.
So, you know, impromptu won't be meticulously correct. So anyways, for me, academic writing is the ability to write in an acceptable manner towards like APA format and not being plagiarized, not plagiarizing, and going against, you know, the principles of APA and grammar. So.
All right, so we have several definitions. So it's important that you understand, and oh, I need to say this to you as a precursor, that the lecture slides that I'll be sharing were developed some years ago by my former colleagues at the University of the West Indies. As I indicated to you some time ago, I have been teaching, at least I was teaching academic writing to the nurses. All right, so you will see that together, you'll see Dewey sometimes in it, all right? So academic writing is designed to help students to, one, critically engage with texts. So when I send you to go and look at, look for sources that support your topic sentences or your thesis statement that is critically engaging with texts. When I said, for example, remember at the beginning, for some persons who were here at the very, very beginning, we looked at Reparation by Vibes Cartel and the other artists, I don't remember the other. And we were trying to make sense of what is the writer's main idea, what is the writer's purpose. That is also a part of critical engagement. Research and write effective essays for academic audiences, which is what you have been engaged in. You are showing me your topic sentences, your supporting evidence. And it says academic audiences because you are college/university students and so forth and so forth. And therefore, your audience is academic in nature. Participate intelligently in oral and written discussions on a variety of topics. And we have been doing that from broad topic to narrow topic, question to answer and thesis, and develop an understanding of the linguistic context in which they operate, which means that you will understand the difference in terms of register and diction. Some are appropriate and some are inappropriate. For your documented essay, it is inappropriate because the context is considered, or the register, or the context is considered formal. All right, the general focus is to develop your communication skills, your critical thinking skills, promote collaboration. This is partly why you're working in groups, and to develop your problem solving skills, meaning that you are trying to answer your research question. I did say that the context is academic in nature, and the variety, which is the register, the same thing as register, is standard English, and the purpose is, in part, is knowledge making and communicating through the 4 R's, or the four, not say the 4 R's, the 4 main types of learning: reading, thinking, writing, speaking. Academics have updated to add another one, which is reflection. So not just reading, thinking, writing, speaking, but also reflecting. Academic writing is based on conventions across the disciplines, which means that the skills that you're learning in this course are to be transferred to the other courses. So it's not that you're learning how to write an essay in my course or in this course, and then you keep it to yourself. It's supposed to be transferred to other courses. So that's why it's called writing across the curriculum. So in terms of how you structure your essay, in terms of your in-text citation, in terms of your referencing, it should transfer to your other courses. It's how scholars communicate with others in their fields of study, which means that you're a budding scholar and you are also joining that ongoing conversation. All right. I don't want to get into academic writing is analytical. And you will realize that it's very analytical based on even the interaction with myself and Margaret and the kinds of feedback we're giving you in terms of raising questions about whether the supporting evidence is strong enough, whether your thesis is clear, who you're writing for, you know, to whom are you writing, why are you writing, that kind of thing. So it makes inquiries, it observes, asks questions, examines alternatives, and there's of course multiple perspectives, which again speaks to the notion that I said that I need one source from a book, journal, so one source from a book, one source from a journal, newspaper, magazine, and an authored web page, which means that you're getting multiple perspectives. You are contributing to an already existing conversation in the academy. You're at the lower end or at the very beginning because you're first year students and you finish that journey when you complete your PhD or when you become a scholar. You're participating in a writing process. This is why I, on day one, haven't asked you to just write an essay. You're literally learning how to write the essay. And it is grounded in research and documented according to the requirements of the discipline, which means that you're either using APA, MLA, or any other documentation styles, all right? And prominence of research, ethical concerns, credibility of the writer, and we'll get into that, partly why we say that we want the source to be credible, to be reliable, and to be current. I think I said this before, that you are joining an academic conversation. So there are various persons who are having a conversation about the impact of, for example, mental ill health, and how, for example, how law enforcement, you know, are affected, or their jobs affect their mental health and things like that. Ongoing conversations. And it is important that as you participate, you are going to have status as observer, as reporter, and as interpreter. There are two ways of looking at this ongoing conversation. On the one hand, you're going to analyze existing literature or scholarship on your area of study. So you're going to the sources, you're trying to determine what they're saying and how what they say can apply to your paper. And then on the other hand, you are now writing your own paper, asking those sources or using those sources to support your assertions. So how does what you think, read, write, or present orally matter in the academy? How do your writings and oral presentation at this level affect others? In other words, you are supposed to see, one, an improvement in the way how you write, the way how you think, the way how you speak, because now you are a part of the academy. And this is even why sometimes you hear me trying to get you to pronounce your words correctly, trying to put in your full stops and your commas, and you might say, why is Raquel himself? It is because academic writing requires a certain level of rigor and discipline, all right? And we can't look over any error, all right? And the expectations outside of the academy are not necessarily the same as inside of the academy, although some of the expectations outside of the academy are so high, because when you tell somebody that you're a college student, they expect a certain level of critical thinking, ability to speak with intelligence, ability to write with intelligence, and just to engage in conversation and even win the conversation. I can think of when I was sixth former. I knew when I went to Tivoli High, I went to Tivoli High School, did fifth form, got only 2 6s, and then repeated fifth form, and went to Camperdown, and I was in sixth form. And when I completed lower six and went into upper six, I literally changed how I taught, how I think. My perception of the world changed, not deliberately, not intentionally, but because I had additional information. I was exposed to sociology and literature and biology. I did those subjects in sixth form. And it changed how I saw the world, how I talked, how I read, even when I was on the corner, quote unquote, in Tivoli, because I grew up in Midtown Tivoli Gardens. And sometimes my friend would say, boy, Robin, you know, we can't bother with the educated talk. All right. So you're supposed to be seeing those kinds of transitions in your own life. And of course, it will come over time. It's not going to just happen, you know, overnight. This is an example now of a university student, a university graduate. So let us see what is the impression of the applicant. So I'm going to ask Nikita Allen, can you read the letter according exactly as it is? Don't correct anything. Nikita, can you read the letter exactly as it is? Go ahead for me, please.
Job application, the inspector, ABC Company, 58 I Street, Kingston.
No, that's Kingston.
Kingston.
No, there's no G. You're pronouncing a G.
Kingston.
Right.
Dear sir, madam, I hereby tender an application for the position of inspector. I am a past student of the University of the West Indies in the Faculty of Pure and Applied Sciences, where I have pursued a bachelor degree in food chemistry, minor general chemistry. I have had prior work experience in a number of areas and believe that I possess the experience, capabilities, and enthusiasm that will be of much value to your institution. I am available for an interview at any time that is of convenience to you. Thank you for your consideration. Yours truly.
All right. Anything wrong with the letter, or what is your impression of the author?
I think this person probably just started high school based on the way he wrote.
No, it's a graduate of the university. Bachelor's degree in food chemistry.
Yes, but you asked me my impression and I'm telling you.
Okay, fair enough. Anybody else? What's your impression?
He didn't do academic writing, sir.
All right. So we're assuming or speculating that this author, he never said it's male or female, I don't know, I assume it's a man, that the author did not do academic writing. Anybody else?
The author by the degree.
All right, could be that this person bought the degree, and we know that the degrees are sold all over the world, not just in Jamaica, but all over the world. A big industry in the United States. Yes. So we know that writing, even though some persons will say, but when I go to work, I'm not being employed as an author. So why am I going to kill myself? It is because it affects your credibility. And it affects the credibility of what? The institution. So the errors are in red. So can you tender an application?
No.
You can't tender an application, and instead of pursue, we have perused. Instead of possess, we have poses. And convenience. That is the problem with that, anytime that is of convenience to you is redundant. Because if you say anytime, it means that it is convenient to me because it's anytime, so that's redundant. and we're seeing the absence of capital letters. For example, faculty, pure, applied sciences, bachelor, food chemistry, and just so the way it is written. So this person.
Sorry, you forgot the spelling of Kingston.
Right, and of course, yes. And also too, why is there an issue
Sir,
with
I
inspector?
I think it's just he couldn't, maybe while he was writing, pronunciation was an issue for him. So him just think that the words are okay for the person.
Why would pronunciation be an issue when you're born in an English-speaking country? It's not
He
as
wrote
if-
it in an ori.
But you can't be in an ori to apply for a job of that nature. Probably. Why is inspector an issue? Why is it is in
The
red?
inspector isn't the person that is in that section. The inspector is just probably should be addressed to the manager. Or the
inspector is the position he's applying for.
Thank you. Inspector is a position that he or she's applying to. So you're addressing the letter to the position that you're applying to, not realizing that that's the position you're supposed to fill.
Yes, sir.
So again, it affects the credibility of the writer, and it affects the credibility of
the use of homophones to pass and pass.
Right. So I'm a pass instead of pass.
Somewhat kind of sound alike.
Right?
Yes.
Right. We call it, I think this is called malapropism. So he's using, so we have I'm a pass verb. I'm a past student as opposed to past student. So present tense versus past tense.
And I realized that there's no space in.
So there are several issues with it, several issues. All right, and this is why you're here, Mr. Clark. I am so big on correcting students, because you are an ambassador of the institution, and whatever you say, how you write, at work especially, people say, what, we not go to school, eh? Me go to school and me can't write a good paragraph. You know, we are as Jamaican, we're highly critical. People say, no, I'm not going to that school because I'd be a foolish. There's no way them couldn't teach them something good. And they pick them right. PASS for PAST.
Yes, sir. You asked a question earlier. I think I can answer it. You asked, why is it that we are from a country that speaks predominantly English? And thank you. I believe it is our dialect. Yeah, if we are from, Kingston, Jamaica, and we speak English here, where our patois is affecting us in, possible pronunciation and all of that. Because even right across Jamaica, every different region or parish has its own form of patois. So that is causing a big problem on the way we write and also the way we speak, sir.
You are correct. You're correct. The issue, I think the issue is that we should teach English as a second language, because many of the persons who are coming to us in the classroom, they themselves are coming from a Creole speaking environment, and then we are telling them that their Creole is incorrect when that's the only quote unquote verbal ammunition they have. So what we really should do is to teach English as a second language. So you are very correct that the Creole influence has interfered with the ability of some of our Jamaicans to write and speak at a particular level. So you're very, very correct. I'm not going through, this is another one that has a lot of errors, but I don't have the energy. You kind of get the point. I don't want to get into all of that. All right, so ethics and academic writing. So ideas relating to ethics in academic writing will be presented in subsequent lecture. And what they're saying is that the whole notion of academic writing is to be honest. So all of those persons who are used to in fifth form, or when you were writing your English papers in high school, and you went on the internet and you just copy and pasted something and gave the lecture and you got a wonderful A, it will not happen with Mr. Clark, all right? Just letting you know. The information will be properly cited, will be properly integrated, will be properly referenced, because I have the software that will indicate such. All right. So academic integrity is fundamental, and that's part of what they're talking about in relation to ethics. Some persons are very unethical, very, very unethical. In other words, they're very dishonest, and they go and steal information and want to pass it off as their own. And of course, at the end of the day, they want to take a lot of photos when they graduate and put it on Facebook without admitting that they literally plagiarize their way through university. All right. All right, so this is lecture one. Lecture one is finished. Let me go to lecture two. All right, any questions relating to lecture one? Anything that stood out to you? Anything that you're learning that is new or that you find fascinating? No? Okay.
Yes, sir.
How
Yes.
to reference page. I found it fascinating because that's not the way we do it in high school. And trust me, I struggle a lot with it at first.
Mm-hmm. But you're slowly becoming comfortable, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. And I say to students, the moment you become comfortable, trust me, you're not going to forget how to do it.
Sir?
Yes.
I sit and laugh after myself after me send my first assignment in ethics to my teacher. I sit and laugh and say, you can imagine the impression she had of me. She had
what was wrong? What was wrong?
First and foremost, I didn't even read because I came into the class late and I didn't even know how to reference they call it now the title page. And man, you know, like when you're doing high school, you'd find a picture, me go for Excel, take off them logo, put it on the front. And all that. And my case fix up and send it, go give her because I was stressed. You see, when I realized it's not the way it should be done, I had a good laugh.
Yes, exactly. And of course, it's a part of the learning experience. It's a part of the learning experience. When I did my master's degree, I learned a lot on my own, more than I learned from my lecturers, because I was forced to grow up academically. When you're undergraduate, you still kind of get away with murder, but when you're doing a master's, they are not going to take any excuses. All right. I remember I wrote a paper for Professor Hope. Well, she was then Dr. Hope, and she was like, no, lie. We wrote the first paper, the first assignment in the master's program. All of us, I think about 20 of us were in the program. And it was so bad. I remember Professor, I don't remember the professor's name. She literally had to call a session on writing at the graduate level. And she had a template and she said, all right, guys, you're now master students and you have to think better and you have to do this and you have to do that. And what you guys submitted is as if you're not even understanding the paper and da. And we were like, okay, now we realize we have gotten ourselves into serious business. I remember I did an assignment and Dr. Naya, which is the male, not both of them are Dr. Naya's husband and wife. And Dr. Naya, the male, I did a paper on Rasta or some Rasta culture. And the paper, he colored my paper with so much pencil mark to the point where he clipped 3 additional pages of correction. And I said, okay. And I got, for that first assignment, I think I got 45%. And I was like, wow, this is masters. And when I read through his comments, he was like, you're just regurgitating popular sentiments about Rastafari. There's no evidence of research. There's no critical thinking. There's no analysis. I can't hear your voice in the paper. And I was like, yeah. And I remember every time I was going to write a paper and going forward, I looked at his comments and I said, okay, what the hell do these people want? And eventually I grew up. So that's how serious you have to take it. And even if you're a lecturer, because sometimes you'll come across lecturers who themselves are not as rigorous. For example, well, I don't want to beat up on math lecturers, but they tend not to be very rigorous in terms of academic writing and sourcing and all that. They just say, once you can write the formula or solve the problem, they're good to go. What you should do is to ensure that you maintain the approach. It's like work. I take my work very seriously. So no matter where I work, I try to have a very good work ethic, because I tell myself, if I don't have a very good work ethic and it becomes, I normalize it, it means that it might follow me wherever I go, especially now that I'm in a white country, because I'm in Canada. Especially now that I'm in a white country, I have to ensure, you're in a multicultural environment. You have to ensure that you're on your P's and Q's because you're Black. And they have a particular notion of Black people that we're not serious, that we are carefree, and we are this and we're that. So it's as if you have to double up just not to embarrass, quote unquote, your race. So I want you to take the same approach in terms of your academic work. All right, guys. Anybody else has any comments before I move on? All right, so let's proceed. The second lecture now really looks at analysis, and what this will help you to do is to make sense of your sources, or make sense of what is called discourse. So this is just a summation of what we discussed in lecture 1 about the focus is using language in context, the setting is academic, and that the language register that we're using is formal, and that the purpose is knowledge making, and so forth. All right, and we did talk about having conversations in the academy and also in smaller groups when, for example, we're working in groups, and that consistent conventions, expectations across the disciplines. In other words, I just mentioned that these competencies or the skills that you're learning now are supposed to be transferred to other courses. And the last one about some specific, some discipline-specific convention, which means that if you are, for example, a nurse, you use AP, but if you're studying literature, you use MLA. So there are discipline-specific conventions. And so MLA has its own conventions or its own rules, its own protocols, its own guidelines versus AP and versus the other Chicago style and the other types of documentation styles. I don't want to read that. Madness. Okay. Some of this we have done before. We have actually started this process in terms of pre-writing, selecting and narrate topic. We spoke about that, expressing the ideas you generated, shaped in sentences and paragraph. We are not here yet. We have sentences in terms of topic sentences and thesis, but we're not here yet. We're not at 3 and 4. We are slowly progressing into that mode. These are just broad topics. Innovations and sustainable development, family in the 21st century, terminal illnesses, challenge learners, trends in the travel industry. Oh yes, I remember one of my students years ago, a male student of mine, actually, he wanted to write about airplane or some airplane something. And I was like, are you sure? It's like, this young man is going to fail this goddamn course. And I was like, brother, please don't write. And he said, yes, sir, that's what I want to write about. And I said, are you sure? He's a nursing student. I said, yes. He said, yes. I said, okay. And he actually got the highest across at UE, across the institutions, he got the highest. He was, when he gave me his first draft of his essay, I was like, wow, you actually know what you're doing, because he loves about airplanes and all that kind of madness. He wrote a really good paper. We did some of this. I'm not going to necessarily read this. All right, so the research process now, part of the research process you're engaged in, when I send you to go and search for your search for sources that are in support of your topic sentences and or thesis statement. So you have started that particular process. Selecting and evaluating sources. We're going to do some of this because what you're going to eventually have to do for me is to summarize, paraphrase, or directly quote your sources, indicating to me how you will be using them in support of your topic sentences. All right, I'll teach. This is going to be taught on its own. It's something that is a little bit complex for students. I don't always have a challenge. I think most of you know are paraphrasing because I've introduced it to paraphrasing, but it's something that I'm going to teach on its own. All right, these are just broad topics, and these are the terms that were used to narrow broad topics. So you get the broad topic, and these are the broad topics, and I've given you several broad topics. And how you narrow your topics, you kind of use reasons, impact, causes, effects, how to, lessons from, lessons that, suggestions for, ways in which, solutions to, problems associated with, and all of that. All right. So if you look at your actual narrow topic, you will see one of these terms. So let me just, Eunice, which term is in your, which one of these terms is in your narrow topic?
I think it's a cause and effects.
Right, you can't have both of them in your narrow topic. You can only have one.
The effects.
The effects. Can you tell me a narrow topic, please? You don't know your narrative topic?
I don't know it by heart, sir.
Georgia, what's your narrative topic? Georgia, what's your narrative topic? Georgia, are you there? Not hearing. Natalia Williams, what's your narrative topic? Natalia Williams, what is your narrow topic?
Sorry, Eunice here, sir.
Yes, what's your narrow topic?
Mine is reasons. Reasons for training and development in the workplace, sir.
Okay. Shanice Plummer, what's your narrow topic?
The impact of workplace safety, sir.
All right. Shanette Bailey, what's your narrow topic?
Sir, cybersecurity.
That's your broad topic. What's your narrow topic?
The role of cybersecurity.
What's the rest of it? It's not just the role of cybersecurity. What's the full narrow topic?
In a company, the role of cybersecurity in a company.
Okay. Yashika, what's
But
your
sorry, answer. All right, yeah, we tell you now. You need to, which one of them here come out tonight? The role.
You tell me. You tell me.
So this is a suggestion for.
No, it can't be suggestion. You have the word roles. That's your that's the term you're using.
Okay.
Yashika Bennett, what's your narrow topic? Yashika Bennett, are you there? I get the impression that persons are logging in and they're not at class, you know. And these are the same persons who love to text me and ask me all kinds of questions, thinking that I don't have a personal life. And they're in the class and they're not physically here, they just log in.
Sir, I just reached back. Georgia.
Okay, Georgia. All right, so these are some examples of NAR topics. So here you have roles. This would be the term that is used in this one. Here you have how. Here you have reasons. Here you have the use of indigenous to enhance the learning. This is the use of learning materials to enhance the learning experiences of struggling writers. All right. Oh, these are examples on the challenged learners. Right. Terminal illness, usually, these are usually for our nursing students. So this is why we always have ones related to like illnesses or medicine or whatever it is. All right, so for Jason, it is advantages. Yes, Jason, it is advantages in your case. Advantages of decriminalizing ganja in Jamaica. Right, so it says discourse. So it's important now for you to understand the word discourse. Are you seeing that word on screen? Discourse. Tell me if you're seeing that word on screen.
Yes, sir.
So a discourse is anything written and or spoken on a subject matter or issue. A discourse is anything written and or spoken on a subject matter or issue. So talk is an example of discourse. Conversation is an example of discourse. Writing is an example of discourse. Lengthy or learned speech or writing on a subject is an example of discourse. So these are all examples. The song, the news report, the book, the poem, the dub poem, all of those are examples of discourse. But in terms of this course now, in terms of communication on our academic writing, the four main discourses that concerns us, the four main discourses that concern us, plural verb, is captured in the acronym EDNA: exposition, description, narration, and argumentation/persuasion. For this particular course, you are writing an expository essay. Please remember, you are writing an expository essay. It therefore means that the purpose is different, because the purpose, for example, the purpose for an argument/persuasion is different. And they're just giving you examples of the various purposes of discourse. All right. All right, let me go back. Let me just not ignore the slides and explain it to you. All right. All right. So the purpose of exposition. Can anybody tell me what is the purpose or what are the purposes of exposition? What are some of the purposes of exposition? I am listening and not moving any further until I get some responses. If you want to Google or whatever it is, start talking.
Sir, to explain.
To explain, yes.
Or to convey information that provides insights to a character or advances the story.
That's what explains means.
A comprehensive description.
So expositions describe, yes. Anything else?
To enlighten.
I don't know what that means.
To provide information.
Don't know what that means. You can just say to inform. That's all you need to say.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so exposition, yes, go ahead.
You persuade a reader?
No, no, no. Expositions have nothing to do with persuasion. So to educate, to inform, as some person says, to describe, to illustrate, to narrate, and so forth. All right. The description. What is the purpose or what are the purposes of description?
To give the person a clear image in their mind about what you're talking about.
Yes, that's one of the many purposes of description. Can you think of any other purpose or purposes of description? So descriptions also inform, descriptions also educate, and so forth. So when anybody did human and social biology?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember
sir.
the blood circulation, how it goes again? Talk to me about blood circulation. Anybody remembers?
Well,
Remember,
you have the
person.
oxygenated and the deoxygenated side of the body. Left side deoxygenated, right side oxygenated. The lungs are ventilated and oxygenated blood enter the oxygen enter the blood through the alveoli. Then oxygenation takes place. The heart beat pump the blood around the body. So first place it goes to the brain, oxygenate the brain, then the extremities, and back to the lungs where the exchange of carbon dioxide takes place in exchange for oxygen where the process continues. In a simple form.
Isn't that a description?
Well, pretty much so.
It is a description. It is called a scientific description. So do not think of descriptions as only figurative. Descriptions are also scientific. A description could be literal. So if you say, for example, the man is tall and is wearing a cap, a blue shirt, and a pants, that's a description. It's a literal description. And then you have figurative descriptions, like when you say, for example, the wind bends, the tree bends at the wind's mercy. That is more figurative. All right, so never think of description as only being figurative. What would you say is the purpose and or purposes of narration?
Narration is the purpose. Narration is the explanation of what is being depicted. Sir.
All right, that's one way of looking at it. Anybody else wants to give it a try?
Sir, is it or you would explain something, sir, like for instance, telling a story, the action on how you'd
right.
explain the action and support the process
Yeah,
of it,
that's
sir?
one. That's another purpose. Telling a story. Any other purpose? Any other purpose of description?
Sir, could it be like developmental, sir? Like you're, for instance, I'm talking now, sir, and I'm trying to develop exactly what I want to explain to you, sir. In the
So
meantime.
narration, so we can, so you're saying that narrations also, we also use narrations to explain.
Yes, sir.
Sir, what about like giving your point of view or so?
What about it? Talk to me. What about it? Would you say a eulogy is a narration?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. And
We're
what
giving
would be the purpose
like,
of a eulogy?
Because you're practically telling something, telling the audience, sir, about the life of the
Right.
particular deceased, sir.
So what is the purpose though? What's the purpose?
Educate the audience.
So you're informing, you're not educating.
right.
You're informing.
That's true.
All right. So we also use narration to inform.
Inform.
Yes. And for argument / persuasion, so the thing with argument now, so argument is one example of persuasion. Another example of persuasion is propaganda. Another example of persuasion is advertisements or promotions, as some people call it. All right. What is the purpose of an argument? Our purposes of an argument.
So to like
Trying to
defend
get someone
your,
to support your idea.
So
right,
you're
or
trying to
defend your
convince,
ideas.
you're trying to convince, or you're trying to dissuade. So in other words, convince means you want the person to accept your position. Dissuade means you want the person to change their position, right? How many persons believe in God, believe in the Christian God?
I do, sir.
Is there anyone who does not believe in the Christian God? The person or persons might be afraid to speak out. But just think about it this way, that somebody is trying to convince you that, or you're trying to dissuade an agnostic or an atheist that their view is wrong and that they need to accept the Christian God, all right? So those are just examples of discourse, and we kind of went through, so we don't have to go through all of this because we kind of discussed it on our own.
Sir, would you consider debating, sir? Argumenting,
debating is a form of argument. It is. I'm not going to look at that. We will get all of these things. All right, so this is where we can, so this whole notion of thesis development. Oh, what I wanted you to do for me, and I'm going to put it in groups for me, is to determine the purpose of your paper. What is the purpose? Don't answer me no. I want for you to look at your paper and tell me, one, who is your audience? like who specifically you're writing for, and can't say the general public or you can't say the public, and two, what is the purpose? What are you trying to accomplish? Why are you writing and what are you trying to accomplish? Tell me if you understand.
No, sir.
Everybody has a narrow topic, right? Persons who are working in groups, right?
Yes, sir.
And you have a
Yes,
thesis.
sir.
And what I want for you to do is to look at your narrow topic and or thesis and make a determination of two things. One, to whom are you writing? And two, why are you writing and what you hope to accomplish? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. That's all I'm asking you to do. Nothing else. To whom are you writing and why are you writing and what you hope to accomplish? You're working in groups of two, you're working in pairs or groups of three. I'm trying to remember because I have a
Groups of three.
Groups of three.
all right. If it's groups of three. Okay. No, assign manually. All right, so now I have to let me try to assign. All right, so Nikita Allen, with whom are you working?
Shanette Bailey. I'm sorry, Shanette Bailey and Tariq.
All right, Shanette Bailey and Tariq.
Yeah, yes, sir.
I'm not sure if he's here today. I don't remember seeing Tariq.
So Shanette.
All right, so the two you can go in that breakout room.
Yes,
Unit,
sir.
with whom are you working?
Chantel Emmanuel and Janelle Johnson.
So Chantel, Emmanuel, and who else?
Janelle Johnson.
Chantel Emmanuel and Janelle Johnson.
Yes, sir.
Where's Johnson? Yes, here she is. You can go to breakout room. Shanice Plummer, with whom are you working?
Sir, with Georgia and Roberto.
Georgia and Roberto. Okay. Why do I think I need more breakout rooms? I'm sure I need more breakout rooms. Lord. Avril, with whom are you working? Avril Morgan. All right.
Sir, Avril and I, along with Kerry, work as a
You can't say I because I don't know who is the I.
Alia Howard.
All right, so Avril, Alia, and who's the other person?
Kerry.
Kerry. I'm not seeing a Kerry there. She's not at class today, right? Not seeing her. All right, Tana
No,
Shea.
sir.
Okay, Tana Shea, with whom are you working? Tana Shea Harris. All right, Tana Shea is not answering. Natalia Williams, with whom are you working?
Rakisha and Chantal.
So Rakisha and Chantal Patterson. All right. Janelle Johnson, with whom are you working? Miss Sutherland, Janelle Sutherland, with whom are you working?
I'm working with Carla Buckle.
So Carla. All right, Jason, with whom are you working?
Me, Yashika, and Kesia.
I don't see a case here in here. Oh, but I needed another room. And they haven't given me the opportunity to go into the room. Tana Shea Harris, with whom are you working? Davia Lawrence, with whom are you working?
Sir Alicia and Natoya.
Alicia and Latoya.
Yes.
Leonie. Somebody name Marianne.
All right, so I'm not seeing those persons. So what I want for you to do is just to work outside of a room, look at what you have because your group members are not here. And then when we ask you to share, you can share, okay? I'm speaking specifically to Tarnishe and Davia Lawrence.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so let's start with the room 3, Roberta, Georgia, Shanice. Talk to us. What is, you have to kind of, I don't know if you can share screen so we can see your broad topic, narrow topic, and so forth, and make a determination if whether or not what you say to us in terms of the intended audience is correct, as well as the purpose, twofold purpose. Go ahead.
Okay, sir. Describe, Shanice, I think is going to bring on the screen, but we're going to tell you what we have.
No, we want to
Oh, you want to see it?
Yes, then how am I going to know what you're saying is correct?
Sir, we never typed it. I typed it on the phone.
No, I'm talking about sharing the document, your outline. I'm not talking your answer, and I'm saying your outline. Share your outline.
Okay.
So the other part you can talk, but we need to see the outline so that we know if what you're saying is accurate.
Okay, all right. Yeah, share Chinese. And we can go on read it, because we have information. All right, so question one.
No. We need to see it first.
All right, no problem.
First. Are we taking, we're waiting on the Lord to come back before we share the screen? I'm just trying to find out. We have a few minutes remaining. Anybody's paying attention to Manning Cup or the Costa Cup? Or we don't watch football? While they're trying to bring up the document. Let's see, I don't watch anything. What do you guys watch? Oh my God.
Sir, right now I feel like it's a trick question that I love football, but to class and work have to just focus on class and work, school and work.
No, I'm the social media coordinator for a radio station. That's why I'm asking. All right. So let's see. Talk to us now. So we are seeing so talk to us from your broad topic all the way to your thesis. You don't have to read the topic sentences, and then you talk to us, and then you answer the questions.
Yes, sir. Our broad topic is workplace safety. And our thesis, our
topic is and our narrow topic is.
Our narrow topic is the impact of workplace safety on staff. I say I shouldn't read the question or the answer.
Go to the thesis.
Okay, so the thesis is increasing productivity, improving employees' morale, and reducing the total number of
it's morale,
injuries.
It's not moral. Moral is different from morale.
Sir, I said morale.
Well, I never hear the stress.
Well, I said it.
Okay.
And reducing the total number of injuries are some of the impacts of workplace safety on staff. And for the first question which is to whom are you writing? We discussed and we came up with employers and employees, and also prospective staff members. And the purpose for writing, to bring awareness to the importance or the impacts of workplace safety on staff. And what do you hope to accomplish? We hope to achieve safer working environmental conditions.
Okay, I'll accept it for now. It's a start. All right, thanks, room 3. There are 2 persons who are. All right, room 1, go ahead for me, Nikita and Shanette Bailey.
Are you seeing the screen?
Yeah.
So we have discussed that the persons within the company.
No, from broad topic.
Our broad topic is cybersecurity. Narrow topic is the role of cybersecurity in a company.
The roles.
The roles of cybersecurity in a company. And third, we have discussed that the audience that we intend to see this are owners and employee within a company or of a company. And what we hope to do is to inform and educate those persons about the roles of cybersecurity in a company.
About
and
the
what we
importance, not the role.
the importance of cybersecurity within a company or in a company. And what we intend for them, what's the outcome or what we intend is for them to gain knowledge and apply that knowledge.
I don't know if you say
We intend to gain, for them to gain knowledge about cybersecurity and apply the knowledge that they have learned.
In their companies.
Yes, sir.
Right, you should have said that part because you, based on even your thesis, say protecting IT infrastructure, data breach. In other words, you want them to protect their cyber assets.
Yes, sir.
Right.
So the application.
Say that again.
So that's what I was saying. That's how the application comes in. So that's how they would apply whatever it is that they have learned.
Yeah, but when you say whatever they have learned, I don't know what is in the whatever.
The importance and
word.
What they have learned from cybersecurity.
No,
right?
what they would have learned is that they would have learned how to protect the infrastructure, how to prevent data breach, and how to monitor attacks, and that is what they would have learned and be able now to make their company cyber secure.
Yes, sir.
Right. So that's what I'm saying, because in other words, and the reason I'm saying it this way is because you're going to also do a TED Talk on your same paper. So you have to kind of intimately talk about it. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. So it's not that you did bad, you did really, really well. It's just that I wanted you to kind of phrase it a particular way. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. Room 2, Eunice and Chantel, go ahead for me. Then, okay.
And they'll carry up to the broad topic.
But you're at a hotel, we never realized that we might mute. Okay, so speak to me. All right, so our broad topic is training and development. Narrow topic, reasons for training and development in the workplace. So, as it relates to the thing, sorry, are you hearing me?
I am.
I have to ask, I never normally so quiet. So, to whom do you write? So we write to the human resource manager. Why writing? To increase staff motivation through training and development. What we hope to accomplish for all staff. So sir, we're tied to the public sector. I don't know if that would be a problem, but for all staff in the
people need training and development.
No, sir, but that's what I said. I tied to the public sector, being that we all work in public sectors.
Yeah, but you can't tie to the workforce is not made up only of public sector workers. What about the private?
Okay, so that means we can't type then.
It's not a matter that you can't type, but why you tie to only the public sector?
Because I choose to do the public sector. That's why I say I don't know if we are a problem.
No, it's not a matter of it being a problem, but I'm saying if you're talking about training and development, and training and development happens in all workplaces, whether it's public or private, then you can't limit it to just the public sector. Because training and actually training and development.
So let's say in the workforce then.
And the public sector.
Okay, public sector and the private sector, right? Just saying. For all staff in the public sector and the private sector to be equipped to deal with any changes such as technology that will assist in improving their skill sets to contributing to the success of the company.
All right, fair enough.
Okay.
Right, so we're gonna pause here for today, and then when we come back on Wednesday, the other rooms will present, as well as the 2 individuals who were not in the room because their group members were not here. All right. I have another class, people, so have a good night.
All right, you too.
Okay, sir. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, sir.
All right, man.
Good night.